We are not a city that wants to discriminate. We are not a city who wishes to bring any hurt upon anyone. So it's important because Coeur d'Alene has experienced that before. We're not going back to the days of the Aryan nations. We are past that.
Not again. A powerful message from the mayor of Coeur d'Alene today after 31 men linked to a national hate group arrested for planning to riot in the city over the weekend. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney has the night off. Today, Coeur d'Alene's mayor and the city's police chief addressed the arrest in a press conference for the first time since Saturday. KREM 2's Nicole Hernandez breaks down the latest information.
So the Coeur d'Alene mayor and Coeur d'Alene police chief held a press conference here at the Coeur d'Alene Public Library at 11 this morning. They were very transparent in their process, saying they actually don't have much new information at this point. Police Chief Lee White says police are working on writing reports and linking together body camera footage. He says the investigation will be a long process. This just days after officers arrested 31 men connected to a white nationalist hate group that included the group's leader and one man from Spokane. Chief White says the biggest lesson they learned from today, how helpful just one 911 call can be.
This one concerned citizen, rather than pulling out their phone and videotaping this for their 15 minutes on YouTube or Snapchatting it or something like that, took the time to call 911 and report some suspicious activity. And as a result, we likely stopped a riot from happening downtown.
Each man was booked for conspiracy to riot, a misdemeanor here in Idaho. All 31 men have since bonded out of jail. The Kootenai County Courthouse says each has until June 30th to set up a day for their hearing. Since the arrests, Police Chief White says the department has gotten 149 phone calls. He says they're split 50-50, with some thanking police and others angry about the arrests. The Coeur d'Alene police chief and mayor both said the community should not be worried for future events going forward. In Coeur d'Alene, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
New at 4 tonight, court documents are giving us a better idea of exactly who these men are, where they came from, and what police seized when they arrested them. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley has been reading through the court documents today. She is live in the studio tonight with what she's learned. Amanda?
Yeah, Mark, newly filed Kootenai County court documents detail just how much planning and coordination went into the group's attempt at disturbing the peace in Coeur d'Alene this weekend. Now, we can also confirm from these court documents that police seized 3 vehicles, the U-Haul, a Ford Ranger, and a red Camry as evidence. Now, Coeur d'Alene police identified the passenger of the U-Haul as Thomas Rousseau, who is also the founder of Patriot Front. Court records say officers found several typed documents on his person. Now, one document discussed the group being there to, quote, raise a voice against the moral depravity which permits events such as this to take place, referring to the Pride event this weekend. Now, another document outlined call locations, primary checkpoints, drill times, prep times, and observation windows. And court documents say it also listed GPS coordinates for a drop point with 2 backup plans. Now, it references using smoke, and an exit strategy is also outlined as once an appropriate amount of time and confrontational dynamic has been established. Now, police also confirmed none of the suspects had any illegal drugs or other illegal items on them, but what they did find among the 31 suspects include tactical medical kits, radios, and cameras. In fact, one suspect had what appeared to be a single smoke bomb or grenade. Now, while no weapons were listed in court documents, police have not confirmed whether guns were in the U-Haul or not. And court documents also say Rousseau, the leader, told officers he traveled to Coeur d'Alene to peacefully exercise his First Amendment rights. Another suspect told police he traveled a long way for the cause and said, "We go where we are needed." Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. This story is making national headlines. It broke over the weekend, and a lot of people may not be familiar with what unfolded. So here's a breakdown of what happened Saturday afternoon. Cell phone video from Saturday afternoon captured the moment heavily armed officers opened the U-Haul on Northwest Boulevard in Coeur d'Alene. Inside, 31 men, all dressed in khaki pants and blue shirts with white fabric covering their faces. A few minutes earlier, Police Chief Lee White said a concerned citizen saw them loading up into the van in a hotel parking lot and called 911.
The quote that we received through dispatch was, it, quote, looked like a little army that was loading up into the vehicle.
Chief White says the group had what appeared to be a homemade riot shield, other protective equipment, and at least one smoke grenade. He said they were wearing patches and insignias linking them to the Patriot Front, described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a white nationalist hate group. He said they were from all across the U.S., at least 12 different states, including the group's founder, Thomas Rousseau. Some of the suspects are from Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, and one of the men, Michelle Buster, has a Spokane address. Chief White said they were on their way to riot.
It is clear to us, based on the gear that the individuals had with them, the stuff they had in the possession and in the U-Haul with them, along with paperwork that was seized from them, that they came to riot downtown. I don't think I'm at liberty to say exactly what the paperwork had on it just yet. I will tell you it appeared to be very similar to an operations plan that a police or military group would put together for for an event.
Among their targets, according to Chief White, Pride in the Park, an LGBTQ event celebrating diversity. This year's theme was called Exist Louder, and it was attended by several hundred people.
And it wasn't just City Park that they were planning to riot in. There was some other information they were planning on going down Sherman, for instance.
All 31 men were charged with conspiracy to riot, a misdemeanor. Authorities say they have all since bonded out of jail.
In my opinion, I would gladly arrest 31 individuals who are coming to riot in our city for a misdemeanor rather than have them participate in some sort of seriously disruptive event, which is exactly what they were planning in downtown area. So preventing a riot by arresting 31 people with a misdemeanor, I will gladly do that every day of the week.
As we just mentioned, one of the men arrested is the founder of the white supremacy group Patriot Front. The Southern Poverty Law Center reports that Patriot Front branched out from another group called Vanguard America following the deadly Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017. That killed 3 people and hurt nearly 3 dozen more. So once again, this is 23-year-old Thomas Rousseau. He founded the group in Texas in 2017 following those events. Again, he was among those arrested on Saturday. And while the Coeur d'Alene Police Department has been receiving complaint calls and even death threats, it seems that most people agree this incident is not a reflection of the greater Coeur d'Alene community. One local organization that is familiar with hate groups is crediting law enforcement for how they handled the Saturday's arrests. The Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations combats discrimination and hate. KREM 2's Janelle Finch spoke with them about what happened.
Northwest Boulevard in Coeur d'Alene, authorities arrested 31 people associated with the Patriot Front white supremacy group. Those 31 individuals were packed into the back of a U-Haul and charged with conspiracy to riot. Today, leaders from the Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations are speaking out. Their message: North Idaho is not the place to bring this kind of activity and create violence.
To hate groups across America, if you're intended on coming to our community and commit violence, this is the wrong place to be.
The Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations was founded in response to the Aryan Nations movement in North Idaho. For 40 years, the task force has been fighting discrimination and hate crimes. Board member Tony Stewart says Idaho has experience with hate groups, and law enforcement was ready to act.
Well, the police department of Coeur d'Alene, with county and city police departments and the state and with the FBI, they were prepared. And I think the reason for that is that we went through so much back in the 1980s and 90s with not only the Aryan Nations, but Order 1 and Order 2. And I cannot overstate our task force's praise of the police and how they dealt with this.
Coeur d'Alene City Council member Christy Wood echoes Stewart and says North Idaho is not a place for hate groups.
Our law enforcement is highly trained and ready, so it's not going to be an easy opportunity for any hate groups to set up camp here.
Stewart says he was surprised when he heard the group made it to Coeur d'Alene.
Those individuals made a very bad mistake coming here.
Stewart says this situation makes the task force more determined to work and be available to victims. We will continue to follow this story as it develops. In Coeur d'Alene, Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Meantime, Idaho Governor Brad Little tweeted about Saturday's event saying, quote, intimidation, scare tactics, and violence have no place in our great state, unquote. He also went on to applaud law enforcement for their quick actions in Coeur d'Alene over the weekend. This is a developing story. We will continue to follow any new developments as they happen. In the meantime, for more information about Saturday's arrest, just head to our website, krem.com. All right, let's take a quick break from headlines and talk weather because it feels like early spring rather than mid-June. Let's get outside to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagoud. Jeremy, I guess the good news, even though, it's like 40s and raining all day, you don't currently have an umbrella, which makes me believe that it's not raining right now?
Oh, no, it's pouring.
Oh, good.
It's pouring. I just
Good.
can't find the weather umbrella. It
Oh.
went missing, and so here I am. It's raining. It's windy. It's cold.
That's why you make the big bucks, my friends.
Oh, yeah, okay, let's talk weather because it's this. 49 degrees, winds out of the west-southwest at 20 miles per hour, so it's raining sideways a bit at times. Dew point sits at 45. It's a saturated atmosphere, but we do have flood advisories and flood warnings in place. Basically, all of this rain has to go somewhere, and it's not really soaking in at this point, so you're seeing it kind of puddle in areas and turn into big ponds. Minor flooding in some of the rivers, nothing major, but we're going to keep a close eye on that as the rain keeps coming down. Rain is coming down and will continue to do so through the remainder of this evening. Watch it eventually move out later tonight, but tomorrow we are back in it through the middle part of the day and then eventually clearing out as we head into the day on Wednesday. We are going to dry out. It just takes some time. Rain continues to come down. Oh, it's still raining on me out here and continues all night and through the middle of tomorrow. So as we head through the next few days, just know rain stays in the forecast.
All right, Jeremy, if we must, we'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Thank you very much. And still ahead tonight, it is Pride Month, and more permanent action may be coming to Spokane. When we come back, the 4 possible locations for a rainbow sidewalk. We're back after a quick break.